Voluntourism.
I got my bags packed and on a roll. I'm heading out there and I'm ready to go.
Amateur Traveler, episode 125. Today we talk about volunteer travel, or voluntourism. Find out what kind of person is doing this kind of travel, what they're doing when they get there, and just who it is they're meeting on today's Amateur Traveler.
Cafe. I know that I should be heading home, but maybe not today.
Welcome to the Amateur Traveler. I'm your host, Chris Christensen. I'd like to welcome to the show Linda Stewart. Linda is the Executive Director of the Global Citizens Network. Linda, welcome to the show first.
Thank you, Chris. Glad to be here.
What is the Global Citizens Network?
Global Citizens Network is a nonprofit organization based out of St. Paul, Minnesota that's in its 16th year. We've been providing cross-cultural expeditions to indigenous communities around the world.
Okay. And so what we're talking about on this show is volunteer travel, or voluntourism is the other phrase that's been used. Let's start with the why. Why, after I've been working so hard for the whole year, would I want to go and work someplace else?
Yeah, that's a great question. We've seen an increase over the last couple of years in individuals, families, groups, couples that are interested in an experience where they feel like they're able to contribute or give back. And so while going to see new lands, meet new people is still very enticing, there is something to be said about going and doing good. And that is an opportunity that Global Citizens provides with its cross-cultural trips and the service aspect on the trip. There's an opportunity to meet others, meet friends, see new places, new lands, taste new foods. But then in addition, there's an opportunity to work on a service project that will make a contribution to the community where we're partnering.
Before we get into specifically what you guys are doing, can you tell us a little bit more about what are the ranges of opportunities when we talk about volunteer travel?
Everywhere you turn around now, you'll see volunteer opportunity. Voluntourism is on the rise. And one thing that our organization has maintained over the last 16 years is the opportunity to travel and volunteer together as a team. And so we do solicit in-tech teams, but also individuals are welcome to come and join us on any group trip. There is a wide range of opportunities. Others include individual placement. Some are in rural areas versus urban areas. Others may be more of a tutoring or English teaching placement. Others may be in orphanages. Our organization partners with indigenous communities and work with them on small-scale development projects of their choice. And so it often focuses on physical labor or construction of health clinics, schools, community centers, etc. But other projects may include, for example, in a village in Guatemala, in Cantel, we're partnering with the Mayan Peace Center on youth empowerment projects. And that is, again, of the community's choice and by their initiation and direction. So in Cantel, there's the center where the youth come and they learn about Mayan weaving, medicinal medicines, traditional dance, etc. And our presence there is really to also kind of validate the culture and the preservation of the culture. And so that's a really significant project that we feel like we're working on. So there's a wide variety of opportunity for people if they feel like they want to go together as a team, if they want to go as an individual. If they want to go 50s and older, is also an opportunity for baby boomers or senior citizens to be together. And one thing about GCN is that we mean an age-diverse organization, so families, children, 8 and up are welcome on our programs.
Can you describe your volunteers? Can you give us a couple examples of people who volunteer for you?
Well, 2/3 of our volunteers are women.
Interesting.
The other demographics of our volunteers would include, as I just mentioned, some sort of family combination. But I would say that the majority of people that travel with us do range between probably 30 and 55 years old. And then the second group after that would be the youth, because the one area, I guess, that we don't see as many as the kind of the university-aged individuals, and that's because I think oftentimes they're looking for credit or possibly in more of a longer-term program. And our programs are short-term. They're 1 to 3 weeks long. And so there are many motivating reasons for this kind of experience in addition to giving back and contributing. Another one is the camaraderie and sharing that meaningful experience with a family, or like as you mentioned, allowing children to have that kind of eye-opening experience and seeing not it's us versus them, but it's us all together. And We do stress that there's always something for everyone. And so while it may be the construction on a health center, sometimes it can be as simple as hauling some sand, sifting sand. The project usually occurs in the morning, followed by a community lunch, and in the afternoon there's opportunity for interacting with the community members in weavings and classes and lessons, learning, educational forums at the clinics. I mean, there's always just such a wide variety because the goal is to really immerse yourself in the daily lives of the village people and to see how they live.
So what was your personal experience with how you got so involved in volunteer travel?
Well, as a youth, I was fortunate enough to have an experience to go on an alternative project when I was in high school. It was very eye-opening for me. It was an ecological project in Dominica in the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. And it was my first taste of what alternative travel is. And everyone is pretty aware of a lot of what the mass tourism opportunities are. But I was really touched by that experience and very moved that at that time someone was raising my awareness and my realization and my conscientiousness about supporting the local economy versus buying all the souvenirs that you would buy on a cruise ship per se. And so there was something that really resonated with that experience for me. And then it just kind of prompted a lifetime of seeking those kind of experiences, learning a second language, doing research and study abroad in college, and just one experience led after another.
And then if you could get a little more specific in terms of what we would expect if we actually went someplace with GCN, what countries are you in, first of all?
We partner here in the United States with several Native American reservations, as well as First Nations in Canada. We are in Mexico, Ecuador, Peru, Guatemala. We're in Africa and Asia, Kenya and Tanzania specifically, and Nepal and Thailand.
Wow, okay. And what's the average group size?
Our groups are small. They range anywhere from 4 to 12.
Okay. And then what kind of cost? I know it's going to vary depending on whether we're going to Arizona or Tibet.
Our program fees range anywhere from $900 to $2,400, depending on where you go and for how long, if it's a week to 3 weeks long.
And then it's not counting airfare, I assume.
Airfare is in addition to that, as well as any visa costs or any immunizations that would be needed.
Okay.
But the program fee does cover your lodging, transportation, food, and a portion of it goes to the project.
Well, I thank you so much for coming on the show and telling us a little bit about this different kind of opportunity for travel, and just appreciate you sharing your experience with us.
Great, thank you.